The train was nearly empty when Alina boarded at dusk, the dim lights flickering overhead. She slid into the last car, noticing an old man sitting alone, staring out the window without blinking. Curious, she sat opposite him, catching a faint scent of jasmine and something metallic. Suddenly, the train jerked violently and the lights went out, plunging the car into darkness. When the lights returned, the old man was gone, leaving behind only a small, folded note on the seat. Alina unfolded it carefully. The words read, "Find the shadow at the next stop." A chill ran down her spine as the train slowed to a stop at an unfamiliar station, bathed in mist. Stepping onto the platform, she saw a figure cloaked in black waiting under the pale lamplight. "You're early," the figure whispered, voice carrying a strange urgency. He handed her a key and said, "This unlocks secrets that were meant to be forgotten." Alina felt the key's cold weight in her palm as the figure melted into the fog. Back on the train, she found the old man's briefcase left open, revealing a battered leather journal. Inside, cryptic sketches and coded messages hinted at a hidden compartment beneath the train. Driven by curiosity, Alina crawled under the carriage and discovered a small metal box, locked tight. Using the key, she opened it to find a collection of ancient letters, revealing a decades-old betrayal. A sense of relief washed over her as the mystery unraveled. The old man had been protecting these truths. As the train rolled onward, Alina placed the letters safely in her bag, resolved to bring the story to light. The final verse in the journal read, "Truth rides the rails, unseen but never gone." Alina looked out the window, the horizon glowing with the promise of a new day. With a quiet smile, she whispered to herself, "Some passengers leave more than footprints behind." The horizon burned red as Mara stepped through the dust-choked remnants of the city. She clutched an old, crumpled map, her only guide to the rumored sanctuary beyond the wasteland. "Just a little further," she whispered, eyes on the distant silhouette of twisted metal structures. The wind howled, carrying with it the voice of the past, echoes from a world undone by fire and fury. Suddenly, a faint flicker of movement caught her eye, a small figure darting between rubble. Heart-pounding, Mara called out, "Wait, I'm not here to harm you." An old man emerged, eyes weary but kind. "You seek the horizon's edge, don't you?" Mara nodded, hope fighting despair inside her chest. "It's not just a place," he said. "It's a choice between survival and rebirth." They journeyed together, tales unfolding as the sun dipped lower behind the ruined skyline. At night, stars pierced the heavy clouds, whispering stories of those who came before. Mara learned that the sanctuary was built on remnants of old technology, a fragile pulse of life in the wasteland. Morning light revealed a valley shielded by towering cliffs, crystals shimmering with an otherworldly glow. "Home," the old man breathed, tears streaming down cracked cheeks. Inside the valley, plants thrived against all odds, vines reclaiming steel bones of forgotten machines. Mara knelt, touching the earth, warm and alive beneath the cold ash of yesterday. "We rebuild," she declared, voice steady with newfound purpose. Together with the old man and the valley's sparse community, she planted seeds of hope and recovery. The wasteland outside remained harsh and unforgiving, but here, life bloomed resilient and brave. From the ashes, Mara saw not an end, but a beginning, the last horizon, a new dawn. The city skyline stretches beneath a veil of night, its lights flickering like distant stars. Maya stands by her apartment window, her sharp eyes fixed on a television screen broadcasting updates about a chilling missing person case. A sudden knock breaks the silence, and Maya cautiously opens the door to find a plain envelope waiting. Inside, a torn photograph shows her with someone unfamiliar, igniting a spark of unease deep within her. In her cluttered apartment, Maya studies the torn photograph intently, her fingers absent-mindedly brushing against Ava's silver bracelet clasped around her wrist. The image raises more questions than answers, twisting the knot of her thoughts tighter. Far away in a shadowed alley, Leo steps out, leather jacket pulled tight as he speaks quietly on a burner phone. His tense features and guarded tone betray a man burdened with secrets too heavy to share. A flashback reveals Maya and Leo in a dim cafe, voices raised in a heated argument about trust. The room's muted light and their fierce expressions reflect a fractured relationship struggling to survive. On a rooftop gym bathed in the faint glow of the city, Ava's silver bracelet glints as she throws relentless punches. Her athletic form moves with determined purpose, each strike echoing unspoken resolve. In a stark office space, Elias peers intently at grainy security footage, his round glasses catching the pale light. His eyes narrow on a figure clad in a leather jacket, the tension in his stern face growing more palpable. The crowded marketplace hums with life as Maya leans close to Ava, whispering urgently about a clandestine alliance. Amid the noise, their words carry the weight of fragile trust built on shared secrets. On a rain-slick sidewalk, shards of shattered glass lie scattered. Maya steps carefully over the fragments, the broken pieces a silent reflection of the fractured loyalties entwining their fates. Hidden in the shadows, Leo watches Maya with narrowed, calculating eyes. His leather jacket shifts slightly in the dim light, signaling readiness for what might come next. Determined, Maya traces the torn photograph's origins to an abandoned warehouse at the city's outskirts. The building looms like a silent witness to truths yet uncovered, its darkness inviting danger. In a secluded corner, Ava retrieves a small flash drive from a concealed dead drop. Her glances around are swift and nervous, the silver bracelet flashing briefly as tension coils tightly around her. Elias confronts Leo in a quiet bar, their conversation thick with unresolved grievances. The air between them is charged, every word heavy with past betrayals and unspoken threats. Maya grips an old rotary phone, the soft ticking of a clock growing louder in the background. Her whispered words carry urgency, time slipping away as shadows deepen around her. Suddenly, an explosion erupts at the warehouse Maya had been investigating, flames licking the night sky. The blast shatters the calm, echoing like a frantic heartbeat through the city streets. Leo escapes the fiery chaos, clutching his leather jacket tightly, disappearing into the darkness with practiced agility. The night swallows him whole, leaving only questions in his wake. Maya tends to minor burns, her determination hardening as she stares into the unfolding mystery. Pain sharpens her resolve. She vows to uncover the truth no matter the cost. Back in her apartment, Ava's silver bracelet catches a stray beam of light as she opens a locked briefcase silently. Inside lies secrets that could unravel everything they thought they knew. Under the cold glow of a desk lamp, Elias studies a fragment of the torn photograph through his magnifying glass. His expression darkens as pieces of a larger, more sinister puzzle begin to fit together. Meyer and Ava move stealthily through a government building under cover of night, their senses heightened. Every shadow seems alive, every step carries the weight of potential exposure. Leo's voice is low and urgent as he speaks into a burner phone, mentioning the lost files. Each whispered word pulls him deeper into the web of hidden agendas. The camera focuses on a ticking clock striking midnight, shadows creeping slowly across its face. The relentless passage of time presses on, amplifying the growing urgency of their mission. At an office computer, Meyer uncovers an encrypted folder titled Project Shard. Her fingers hesitate over the keyboard, aware that opening it might change everything. Trapped behind sliding metal doors, Ava works desperately to unlock them, the silver bracelet gleaming faintly in the confined space. The ticking clock reverberates, mirroring the pounding in her chest. In a narrow alley, Leo battles two attackers with swift, precise moves, his leather jacket twisting as he strikes. Each moment is a dangerous dance, survival hinging on perfect timing and relentless determination. Maya's fingers flew over her keyboard, the encrypted files slowly unraveling under her sharp gaze. A hidden connection emerged. Elias was entangled in the conspiracy more deeply than anyone had suspected. The weight of this revelation pressed down as the ticking clock echoed in the background, urging her onward. In the dead of night, Elias slipped into a secure vault, his face set in determined concentration. He retrieved a locked box etched with a shattered glass emblem, the symbol of fractured trust. His movements were precise, betraying no hint of the storm about to break loose. Ava lunged towards the exit just as alarms erupted, the wailing sirens slicing through the dim corridors. Her silver bracelet caught the light as she sprinted, every heartbeat synchronized with the urgent ticking sound nearby. She vanished into the shadowed maze, a ghost fleeing imminent capture. On a rain-slicked rooftop, Meyer and Leo came face to face, tension radiating between them like static electricity. Words were scarce, their silence heavy with suspicion and reluctant acceptance. After a brief pause, their eyes locked, forging an uneasy alliance under the bleak city skies. They huddled around a flickering screen, watching security footage reveal Ava's secret meeting with a shadowy figure in broad daylight. The scene contrasted sharply with the urban darkness surrounding them, heightening the stakes. Unseen threads of betrayal began to weave tighter between them all. Maya grabbed a city map, her pen strafing across it as she marked several key locations tied to Project Shard. Each mark a clue, a puzzle piece of a sinister plot that stretched through the city's veins. The ticking clock again underscored the mounting urgency surrounding their discovery. Leo rolled up his sleeve, revealing a hidden tattoo of a broken clock etched onto his wrist. The shattered timepiece symbolized all he had lost and the precious time slipping away. It was a quiet confession beneath the constant metallic sheen of his leather jacket. In a luxurious penthouse bathed in cool shadows, Ava confronted Elias, her fingers gripping her silver bracelet tightly. Her voice cracked with a mix of anger and desperation as she demanded answers. Elias's eyes, behind round glasses, remained unflinching, calculating every word to deflect her charge. Suddenly, the city plunged into darkness as a power outage swept across the skyline. Sirens blared in the distance, a chaotic symphony that meshed with the urgent ticking in the background. The abrupt night deepened the mystery and unsettled everyone caught in its grip. Maya slipped into a crowded nightclub, her gaze sharp as she scanned the chaotic scene for a coded message hidden in plain sight. The pulsing lights cast fractured shadows reminiscent of shattered glass, mirroring the broken trust she sought to mend. Every minute counted as the clock ticked relentlessly on. Beneath the nightclub, Leo expertly picked the lock to a secret door, revealing a dimly lit passage that smelled of secrets long concealed. The narrow corridor whispered echoes of untold betrayals and silent alliances. Leo's steady breathing barely disturbed the fragile calm as he led the way onward. Ava traced a trail of torn photographs, each fragment fluttering like a ghost of the past, leading her to an underground storage facility. The place was cloaked in eerie stillness, shadows dancing across the cold walls like shattered reflections. Her silver bracelet felt heavier, charged with the weight of discovery. From a distance, Elias observed with a stern face partly obscured by shadows, his eyes sharp and relentless. Every move on the chessboard was calculated, the ticking clock matching the rhythm of his ruthless mind. He waited patiently, a predator concealed within the urban darkness. Inside the facility, Meyer and Leo discovered a sprawling wall covered in photographs connected by taut strings. Names, places, dates, all tied together in a sprawling web revealing the breadth of the conspiracy. The sight was overwhelming, but clarity gleamed through the chaos under the low, flickering light. Ava's fingers found a hidden key embedded within her silver bracelet, twisting it to reveal a secret compartment. The revelation was both shocking and empowering, a symbol of secrets kept close at hand. The ticking clock outside seemed to pause in reverence to this newfound treasure. Suddenly, guards burst through the door, and chaos exploded into a frantic chase through narrow, labyrinthine corridors. Hearts pounded in time with the ticking clock as Maya, Ava, and Leo darted through the shadows. Every step was weighed by desperation, and the shimmer of shattered trust trailing behind them. Maya fumbled for a flare, igniting it to throw a sudden burst of light into the darkness. The corridor flickered in fiery oranges and reds, temporarily blinding their pursuers. The flare's glow reflected off broken glass shards scattered across the floor, illuminating their narrow escape route. At a crucial junction, Leo barred the doorway with his body, turning back the onrushing guards. His sacrifice bought precious seconds, the steady ticking in the background echoing his fading heartbeat. Meyer and Ava hesitated only briefly before racing toward their helicopter escape. Meyer and Ava reached a rooftop where a helicopter waited, its windows fractured like broken glass reflecting the city's neon veins. The hum of the rotors mixed with the relentless ticking, underscoring the urgency of their flight. Behind them, the city lay fractured, but not yet defeated. From their aerial vantage point, Maya spotted Elias below, furiously coordinating a final move on his digital tablet. His posture radiated cold intensity, timed perfectly with the accelerating tick of the clock. The last act of the conspiracy was about to unfold under the dim urban glow. Maya's hand trembled as she called Leo's phone, the faint ringing audible through twisted debris below. Hope flickered amid despair. He might still be trapped but alive. The ticking clock seemed to slow in that fragile moment of suspense. Using the bracelet's hidden key, Ava activated a secret safe embedded in the rooftop wall, revealing critical evidence buried within. Papers and small devices spilled out, each piece a testament to the dangerous truths they'd unearthed. The ticking clock tightened the noose around their pursuers. Elias sat before multiple screens, preparing to upload classified data to an unknown recipient. The intensity of the ticking clock grew deafening, each second dragging the city closer to disaster. His fingers danced across the keyboard with ruthless purpose. Maya's fingers flew across her laptop, hacking into Elias's system remotely, a desperate attempt to intercept the dangerous transmission. The digital battle unfolded against a backdrop of relentless ticking and fractured trust. Failure was not an option. Too much depended on her success. Ava's sharp eyes decoded a complex cipher, revealing the location of a hidden bunker beneath the city. This underground refuge held secrets vital to exposing the conspiracy's core. With the ticking clock echoing faintly, the trio prepared for their final descent into darkness. Meyer and Ava moved silently through the dim corridors of the bunker, the flickering screens casting erratic shadows on their faces. Ahead, Elias stood framed by the glow of a control panel, his stern gaze unflinching as they approached. The urgency of the ticking clock echoed softly, pressing upon their nerves as they prepared for confrontation. Elias's voice was calm, but edged with desperation, as he confessed the truth behind the conspiracy. Controlling information was never about power alone. It was a means to prevent chaos, born from fear of losing control over a world spiraling into uncertainty. His motives were complicated, rooted in a hope to preserve order amidst mounting threats. Suddenly, Leo appeared, his leather jacket torn and smeared with grime but unmistakably present. With practiced efficiency, he disabled the nearby security systems, the screens flickering into darkness and giving Maya and Ava the advantage they needed. His battered but alive presence reignited their resolve in the dim bunker's oppressive air. Maya held up the torn photograph, fragments of past ties aching between them. She confronted Elias with the painful revelation, a betrayal intertwined not just with their mission, but with their shared histories. The broken image mirrored the fractured trust that had driven them to this moment. Silence hung thick as the standoff stretched on, tension crackling like static around them. Then, without warning, the bunker's ceiling groaned and collapsed, debris and dust engulfing the space in a sudden chaos. The ticking clock's rhythm intensified, marking the terrifying urgency of their escape. Shards of glass shattered around them, glinting ominously as they navigated the crumbling bunker. The relentless ticking grew louder, a visceral reminder of the fleeting time to flee the collapsing stronghold. Every step was a struggle against falling debris and the threat of entrapment. Outside, the first light of dawn painted the city skyline with hues of orange and pink. Their silhouettes stood together, framed against the awakening world, breathing deeply as the night's trials receded. The urban backdrop glimmered in the new day, offering a fragile promise of renewal. Meyer and Leo exchanged a glance, the weight of their fractured loyalties dissolving in the shared trials they had endured. Words were unnecessary as understanding passed silently between them, mending old wounds with tentative hope. Their alliance was reforged, stronger and more genuine than before. Ava's hand tightened around her silver bracelet, the cool metal grounding her amid uncertain futures. Her eyes scanned the horizon, reflective and cautious, but carrying a spark of hope. The bracelet, once just an accessory, now symbolized resilience and the unbroken spirit of their group. In the final moment, shards of broken glass caught the rising sun's light, scattering reflections across the bustling streets. The protagonists melted into the city's flow, their past struggles etched in fractures, but overshadowed by newly forged alliances. The dawn marked not just an end, but a beginning carved from shattered trust and reclaimed loyalties. At the stroke of midnight, Emma heard a soft knock on her apartment door. Curious and cautious, she approached slowly, peeking through the peephole. There was no one there, but a cold breeze whispered through the hallway. Suddenly, a shadow flickered in the corner of her eye near the staircase. Emma blinked, and a translucent figure of a young woman appeared, shimmering faintly. "Don't be afraid," the spirit whispered, voice like the wind through autumn leaves. Emma's heart pounded, but she found herself nodding, unable to look away. "I'm called Leela," the apparition said. "I need your help to find peace." Leela explained she was trapped between worlds, bound by a forgotten promise. Emma felt an unexpected warmth, despite the ghostly chill around her. "What promise?" Emma asked, determined to uncover the truth. Leela told her about a lost locket buried beneath the old oak tree in the park nearby. Without hesitation, Emma grabbed her coat and followed the spirit into the night. Under the silver moonlight, they reached the gnarled tree, roots tangled like secrets. Emma dug through the cool earth, fingers brushing against metal, a delicate locket. As she lifted it, Leela's form brightened, the sorrow in her eyes starting to fade. "Thank you," Leela said softly. "Now I can finally rest." With a gentle smile, the ghostly figure dissolved into a shower of twinkling lights. Emma stood alone, heart full, the cold night now feeling warm and inviting. From that night onward, her apartment door never echoed with mystery, just peace. Norman decided to try baking bread. How hard can it be? He asked his cat Muffin. The internet promised him sourdough would be easy and rewarding. He mixed flour and water, forgetting a crucial ingredient, yeast. With a confident smile, he left the dough to ferment on the kitchen counter. 24 hours later, Norman checked. The dough looked as flat as a pancake. He Googled frantically, "Did I kill the yeast?" He wondered aloud. Determined, Norman bought live sourdough starter from a local bakery. He mixed the new starter, flour, and water, and with great ceremony, set the dough to rise again. This time, the dough grew, but so did a mysterious fuzzy blue spot. Is that mold or art? Norman mused, unsure if he should be proud or terrified. Deciding not to waste, he baked the bread anyway, expecting disaster. The kitchen filled with a pungent aroma that could clear a room. Norman's cat fled. The smoke alarm sang its shrill song. Still, Norman cut a slice and tasted cautiously. He said, face contorting. "Maybe bread isn't my forte." But then the doorbell rang. His neighbor was there, holding a plate. "You left the door open," she said. "Our dog loved your bread." Norman laughed. "Next time I'll bake something for humans, not canines." From then on, he stuck to cupcakes, which Muffin approved with less drama. "Baking adventures are better with friends," Norman said, grinning as he offered a cupcake to his neighbor. Lena sprinted through the dense jungle, the mysterious compass clutched tightly in her hand. Every step felt heavier, but the compass needle pulsed with an eerie glow, pointing deeper into the unknown. "Where are you leading me?" she whispered, heart pounding with adrenaline. Suddenly, the dense foliage gave way to the ruins of an ancient temple, vines crawling over majestic stone pillars. The compass tugged insistently toward the temple entrance, urging her forward. Inside, the air was thick with dust and secrets, shadows dancing as sunlight filtered through crumbled walls. A faint hum echoed, as though the temple itself was alive, beckoning her onward. Lena stepped carefully, eyes scanning hieroglyphs etched in gold, revealing a tale of lost explorers and hidden treasures. She followed the compass down a narrow stone corridor, feeling the weight of history in every breath. At the corridor's end, a door barred her passage, covered in intricate symbols. "The key must be near," she murmured, examining the carvings. Her fingers traced a pattern, triggering a hidden latch that slowly revealed a small chamber. Inside, an ancient chest lay covered in dust and cobwebs, waiting patiently through the ages. With trembling hands, Lena opened it to find a radiant gemstone pulsating with warm light. The compass needle aligned perfectly with the gem, its glow intensifying. The heart of the jungle, she realized, understanding its power. As she lifted the gem, the temple walls seemed to sigh, like a long-lost secret finally unveiled. Outside, the compass stopped glowing, its purpose fulfilled. Adventure isn't just about treasure, Lena smiled. It's about trust, courage, and discovery. With the gemstone secured, she stepped into the sunlight, ready for the journey still to come. Late at night, Mia heard faint coughing coming from the attic above her bedroom. She told herself it was just the house settling, but the sound didn't stop. It grew heavier, almost like breathing. Curiosity pulling at her, Mia grabbed a flashlight and climbed the narrow stairs. each creak feeding her growing dread. At the top, the door was slightly ajar. A shadow flickered inside as if waiting. She pushed it open and shone her light into the small, dusty space, filled with forgotten antiques and old trunks. There was no one there, just silence and a chill that crawled up her spine. Suddenly, the flashlight flickered and went dark, leaving her in almost complete darkness. A cold whisper brushed past her ear. "Why did you come?" Mia's heart pounded as the door slammed shut behind her, plunging her into absolute blackness. She fumbled for her phone, its screen casting a dim glow, revealing a small, ancient doll sitting on a box. The doll's glass eyes gleamed, reflecting a strange, knowing smile. "I've been waiting." The whisper came again, now right beside her. Fear paralyzed her, but then a memory surfaced. Her grandmother warning about a family curse bound to the attic's past. Recalling the old words, Mia whispered, "I release you from this place." The room shuddered, the air lightened, and the door creaked open slowly, as if an unseen weight lifted. She dashed down the stairs, feeling the cold breath fade behind her. Outside, under the moonlight, she stopped and swore never to return. The next morning, the attic door was sealed firmly with fresh nails and a faded note. "Rest now." Mia smiled faintly, the burden finally lifted, and the house felt peaceful for the first time in years. As she walked away, a faint coughing echoed from deep within, but this time it was just the wind. The rain tapped rhythmically against the cracked window of Jake's cluttered office, a pale glow from the street lamp slicing through the fog. Jake lit a cigarette, the smoke curling upwards as he wondered why the dame had walked in looking like trouble with a capital T. She slid a photograph across the desk, eyes darting nervously. "Find him," she whispered, voice trembling more than her hands. Jake examined the photo. A man with a crooked smile, standing in an alleyway Jake knew too well. No questions asked, no promises made, but the cash in her hand decided the rest. The trail led to neon-lit bars and shadowed backstreets. Whispers of the crooked smiles, misdeeds crawling through the city's underbelly. A bartender with tired eyes passed a coded note between gritted teeth. "He's not alone." Jake's fingers brushed the cool barrel of his. 38 under the coat, a quiet reassurance in the stormy night. At the docks, moonlight danced on water slick with oil. A meeting was set, stakes higher than ever. The crooked smile appeared, flanked by two goons whose silence screamed danger. Quick words exchanged, then a sudden scuffle, fists and fears colliding in the mist. Jake ducked, rolling beneath a swing, the crackle of gunfire sinking with his pounding heart. Amid the chaos, he caught a glimpse of the dame, eyes wide, fighting shadows of her own. A flash of steel, a gasp, and then the crooked smile's desperate plea for mercy. Jake stepped back, breathing heavy. "This city's got secrets," he said, "but it's time someone told the truth." With the crooked smile tied up and the dame safe, dawn began to pry open the night's secrets. Jake watched the horizon blush with morning, the rain finally stopping. "Case closed," he muttered, pocketing the last of the damning evidence, the city breathing easier for a moment. As the dame disappeared into the awakening streets, Jake lit another cigarette, ready for whatever night would throw next. "In a city of shadows," he mused, "sometimes the only light is knowing you did the right thing." Beneath the crescent moon's dim glow, Aaron traced intricate symbols with focused determination, their silver tattoo faintly luminous against pale skin. Each mark seemed alive, pulsing subtly as if resonating with a hidden power. Outside the ancient temple, Soren stood firm under the sable sky, his grip tightening around the worn obsidian blade. The darkness pressed in, but his stoic expression betrayed no fear, only readiness for what was to come. An unsettling shadow flickered briefly on the temple's weathered walls, unnoticed by both guardian and seer. The sable light shimmered momentarily, casting a strange shift in the atmosphere that set nerves on edge. From the swirling mist emerged Leora, cloaked in shifting shadows, her sharp emerald eyes locked onto Aaron's glowing tattoo with an unreadable intensity. She moved silently, an enigma appearing at the edge of their fate. Aaron felt an abrupt chill crawl down their spine and looked up, only to see Leora vanish as mysteriously as she had appeared, swallowed by the deepening darkness. The fading glow of the tattoo flickered in response, as if warning of unseen threats. Soren's voice cut through the silence, grave and unwavering, cautioning Aaron about a new darkness rising alongside the sable light, an all-consuming shadow that could engulf everything they knew. His eyes never left the horizon's blackening edge. The crescent moon overhead intensified its ethereal glow, casting longer, deeper shadows that seemed to dance and writhe around the ancient stone temple. The sable light deepened, as if drawing power from the growing tension. In a sudden vision, Aaron saw fractured realms torn asunder, jagged voids creeping closer with insidious hunger. Reality itself quaked on the brink of unraveling, threatening to dissolve into endless night. Leora's silhouette blurred and merged with the sable light's ever-shifting form, and unexpectedly, the edge of Soren's obsidian blade began to shimmer with a strange, otherworldly glow. The weapon's reflection revealed truths yet to be spoken. Beneath the sable light's eerie sheen, ancient runes etched on Soren's obsidian blade glimmered to life, revealing a cryptic message written in a forgotten tongue. The symbols hinted at a key to confronting the encroaching darkness. Deciding there was no turning back, Aaron and Soren resolved to seek out the mysterious source of the sable light. Their shared purpose strengthened amidst the mounting shadow, threatening to consume their world. As if responding to their resolve, the temple's colossal doors, carved with steady crescents, creaked open slowly, revealing a pathway shrouded in shifting sable light. Beyond lay unknown trials and veiled truths. Stepping together, they entered a realm where shadows wove around them like living threads, the pulse of Aaron's silver tattoo guiding their path. The air was thick with silent murmurs and the weight of ancient secrets. A whispering wind carried fragmented voices, their warnings fragmented and haunting, foretelling dangers lurking just beyond perception. The spectral echoes stirred unease, pressing them onward with both caution and dread. At a twisting crossroads, shadows bent unnaturally, warping the sable light until reality itself seemed fragile and distorted. Every step forward heightened the stakes, each choice tangled in the weaving shadows. Leora emerged once more from the hovering darkness, her cryptic guidance speaking of balance between light and dark realms. Her presence was both unsettling and necessary, a pivot between their fears and the truths to come. Suddenly, Aaron's tattoo flashed violently, flooding their mind with visions of past guardians locked in battle against relentless shadows. The weight of legacy coursed through them, binding history to the present struggle. Without hesitation, Soren defended Aaron as shadow beasts clawed through the sable light's depths, their twisted forms relentless and ferocious. His obsidian blade carved protective arcs, shielding the seer from the encroaching peril. In the midst of chaos, Soren's blade shattered a dense shadow veil veiling their way and revealed a hidden chamber beyond. The air inside hummed with uneasy power, the secrets of ages waiting to be uncovered. Within the chamber, a fading mural depicted a sacred ritual, binding the sable light's mysterious essence to the power of the crescent moon. The symbolism echoed deeply with the silver tattoo pulsing faintly on Aaron's wrist. Aaron recognized several ancient symbols matching those entwined in their own tattoo, linking them irrevocably to a prophecy forgotten by time. This revelation made the path ahead more urgent, the stakes profoundly personal. Without warning, the chamber trembled violently as bursts of sable light exploded outward, enveloping the room in blinding ebony luminescence. The overwhelming force threatened to consume all in its fissure of shadow and glow. Liara reappeared amid the tempest, her true form unveiled, a guardian entrusted with maintaining the delicate balance of the sable light's secret cycle. Her emerald eyes conveyed both warning and enigmatic authority. She cautioned that disturbing the natural cycle, controlling the sable light, could bring about eternal darkness, a fate worse than the creeping void itself. Her words weighed heavily on their resolute hearts. Though Soren questioned Leora's motives and true allegiance, his connection to the obsidian blade and its hidden history told him there was more beneath her words. Suspicion and necessity intertwined in the dim light of their shared quest. Aaron's visions grew darker, each one unraveling threads of disaster tied to misuse of the sable light. The glowing crescent tattoo pulsed erratically, warning of worlds shattered and balance lost if the power was harnessed unwisely. Suddenly, a subtle distortion warped the temple's very fabric, splitting their paths as if reality itself was tearing. The sable light flickered unpredictably, casting restless shadows that forced Aaron and Soren apart, testing their resolve. Soren found himself face to face with a mirrored figure, forged entirely from sable shadows and bearing his hardened expression. The obsidian blade's edge shimmered, revealing hidden truths as he braced for a confrontation beyond mere reflection. Meanwhile, Aaron wandered through a labyrinth carved from twisting sable light, moonlit echoes guiding their steps. Each turn revealed cryptic clues tied to the silver crescent, driving them toward a vital key shrouded in shifting darkness. Their paths converged just as the sable light began to collapse inward, threatening to erase the temple's existence. Together, they stood firm amid the increasing intensity, the ambient glow wrapping tightly around them. From the folding shadows emerged Leora, her emerald gaze steady and unsettling. She declared that only by uniting the crescent tattoo's power with the obsidian blade's essence could the temple be saved and balance restored. With unspoken understanding, Aaron and Soren combined their strengths, channeling the sable light through shared determination. The crescent moon tattoo glowed fiercely as the obsidian blade's reflection deepened, binding their fates. The sable light convulsed wildly, surging in response but teetering on the brink of overload. Pulses of sable energy raced like wild tides, threatening to consume all else in their path unless controlled. Liara retreated silently into the shadows, her form dissipating as the sable light began to stabilize. The shifting darkness calmed, leaving a fragile peace lingering in the temple's core. Without warning, the ground trembled as the sable light condensed into a floating orb of luminous depth. It hovered between them, a testament to the balance they fought to preserve, shimmering with an otherworldly glow. The orb's surface mirrored Aaron's amber eyes and Soren's solemn gaze, intertwining light and shadow in perfect harmony. It pulsed softly, echoing the temple's heartbeat and their intertwined destinies. In that moment, they understood the orb embodied the intricate balance between light and shadow, the sacred trust of the temple's guardians. It was both shield and key to a fragile equilibrium teetering on the edge of darkness. Suddenly, a shadowy form lunged to seize the orb, cloaked in sable and malice. But the radiant crescent glow flared, repelling the figure with an ethereal force that rippled through the temple air. Raising the obsidian blade high, Soren channeled the orb's radiant power, releasing a pulse that banished the shadow figure back into the void. The blade's edge gleamed with newfound strength, a beacon against encroaching darkness. Aaron's crescent tattoo blazed brighter than ever, its light syncing perfectly with the blade's obsidian edge. Together, their symbols intertwined, forging a potent shield of light and shadow woven from shared resolve. Gradually, the sable light softened and dispersed peacefully, restoring calm to the temple's ancient stones and surrounding shadows. The tension melted into quiet harmony beneath the watchful crescent moon. Leora appeared once more, her smile faint and enigmatic as she dissolved into moonlit mist. Her presence lingered like a whispered promise, a guardian watching from the shifting veils of shadow. Standing side by side under the tranquil crescent moon, Aaron and Soren bore the marks of their trials but held unwavering determination. Their bond had been tested and forged anew, united in guardianship of a powerful legacy. They vowed to protect the delicate balance represented by the sable light, prepared to face any threat that sought to tip its scale. Guardians not only of the temple, but of the truths hidden within shadow and crescent glow alike. Slowly, the temple doors closed with quiet grace, the sable light reduced to a faint and steady gleam that illuminated their oath. The sacred space breathed with calm assurance, shadows and light held in equilibrium. Time moved on as Aaron sat in meditation atop the temple's peak, the silver crescent on their wrist now steady and serene. Their eyes held a calm awareness, reflecting wisdom gained through trials with the sable light. At the temple below, Soren trained fresh guardians in the art of wielding the obsidian blade and understanding the lore of sable light. His teachings passed on the legacy of shadow and crescent symbols, echoing through coming generations. Unexpectedly, a gentle flicker of sable light danced across a quiet corner of the temple, a soft reminder of bonds forged and journeys endured. The subtle illumination hinted at a lingering connection woven deep within the temple's heart. Aaron felt a faint whisper carried on the crescent moon's glow, voices from distant realms or hidden truths yet to be uncovered. The call stirred their spirit, a reminder that mysteries still awaited beyond the veil of light and shadow. Soren silently sharpened his obsidian blade by firelight, preparing for challenges yet unseen. The blade's edge caught the dim sable glow, reflecting readiness and a steadfast commitment to what was to come. Deep within the temple's shadowed depths, an ancient scroll unfurled itself as if alive, its parchment glowing faintly beneath the sable light. The delicate script revealed forgotten truths buried by time, promising to unveil the origin of the enigmatic sable light. Aaron's crescent tattoo shimmered softly in response, drawing them closer to the revelation. The scroll spoke of a primordial being, neither purely light nor darkness, whose very essence created the delicate balance between the two. This entity existed beyond mortal realms, harmonizing opposing forces and ensuring the continual cycle of day and night. Its presence was woven into the sable light itself, an eternal testament to the unity of contrast. As Aaron and Soren absorbed this profound knowledge, the weight of their quest deepened. They understood their roles were not isolated acts of heroism, but pivotal links in an enduring chain of guardianship spanning eras. Their journey was a commitment to protect the fragile balance upheld by the primordial being's influence. In that moment, Soren's obsidian blade vibrated subtly, its edge catching flickers of the sable light's hidden depths. The blade now mirrored the primordial being's essence, reflecting a power both ancient and alive. This newfound resonance fortified their resolve, signaling the beginning of a transcendent alliance. From the temple's edges, under the gentle glow of silver crescent moonlight, Leora's presence whispered back into existence. Her emerald eyes gleamed with quiet certainty, offering cryptic guidance amidst the revelation. Her subtle influence became a beacon, illuminating the path the two must now take. Aaron's crescent tattoo pulsed in tandem with the blade, both infused with the rhythm of the sable light's essence. The harmonious thrum radiated strength, binding their spirits to the primordial balance. United in purpose and power, they felt the transformative energy course through their very beings. With reverence, they prepared the ancient ritual inscribed alongside the scroll's secrets. Sacred symbols were traced under the sable light, weaving a bridge between their world and the concealed realms beyond. Each movement of the ceremony intensified the bond, affirming their roles as guardians of equilibrium. As the final invocation echoed, the temple erupted into a serene blaze of pure sable light, immaculate and all-encompassing. Its serene glow cleansed lingering shadows and illuminated hidden corners alike. The ritual's success resounded through the air, signaling the restoration of profound cosmic balance. Now guardians of a tranquil world, Aaron and Soren stood vigilant beneath the shimmering sable light's gentle embrace. Their watchful eyes reflected readiness for the cycles to come, ever aware the balance must be maintained. In unity, they embraced the timeless guardianship bestowed upon them. Under the tranquil sweep of the crescent moon, the tale drew to a close, yet the echo of sable light lingered on. Silent and unwavering, it stood sentinel over the night, weaving protection through the darkness. Thus, the legacy of balance and light persisted, eternal and unbroken. Elliot Gray steps out of the rain into his dimly lit office, the neon light outside casting long shadows across his cluttered desk. The worn leather of his trench coat still damp, he glances wearily at the faded fedora cradled in his hands. The city's relentless drizzle seeps through the cracks of the shuttered window, and the flickering neon sign hums an eerie lullaby. A sharp knock at the door cuts through the silence as Maeve Sinclair enters, her crimson hair soaked by the storm, droplets falling to the floor. Her scar, a thin jagged line above her eyebrow, glints faintly under the weak overhead light. She holds herself with a mix of determination and desperation that unsettles the smoky stillness of the room. With a steady hand, Maeve slides a worn, leather-bound ledger across Elliot's desk, fingers lingering momentarily on its damp surface. Her eyes, alight with urgency and fear, meet his, silently imploring trust. The thick tome feels heavy, not just in weight but with the promise of secrets untold. Maeve's voice lowers as she explains that the ledger contains names and coded entries linked to a shadowy underground network controlling the city's fate. She warns that this network's reach pervades every corner of power, from law enforcement to the criminal underground. Her tone suggests that the ledger is both a key and a curse. Elliot cautiously opens the worn pages, revealing entries filled with cryptic symbols and names, each penned long ago but still fresh with menace. The faded ink coexists with meticulously drawn codes, a tapestry of conspiracies hiding in plain sight. He senses that deciphering it will demand more than just sharp eyes, it will require risking everything. Suddenly, Detective Harris arrives unannounced, his jagged beard casting shadows under the harsh light as he eyes Maeve suspiciously. His toothpick clenched between gritted teeth, he warns Elliot to stay clear of this web, hinting at dangers beyond the usual city grime. The detective's presence thickens the air with apprehension and mistrust. Maeve counters Harris's caution with a steely insistence, revealing that corruption runs far deeper than even the most cynical cop dares admit. She speaks of betrayals and cover-ups, painting a city infected from its core. Her unwavering belief forces Elliot to reconsider the ease of walking away. Clutching the ledger with renewed resolve, Elliot pockets it beneath his trench coat, the worn leather pressing close against his side. Thunder rumbles distantly outside, echoing the storm within his mind. His gaze sharpens, shadows playing along his weathered face as he prepares for the dangers ahead. Across town, Victor Dane sits bathed in smoke, a cigar smoldering between his fingers as the tension of a crooked deal collapsing unfolds before him. His piercing gray eyes narrow with cold calculation, the flickering light casting sharp angles on his sharp features. The city's underworld trembles under his gaze. With a hard slam of his fist on the mahogany table, Victor signals his enforcers to tighten control over his territory. The room bristles with silent menace as his men exchange grim looks, their loyalty sealed by fear and profit. His power surges like the electric neon outside, unyielding and raw. In a shadowed corner, Elliot watches through dim alleyways as Victor's men rough up a frightened street informant. The flickering neon sign casts erratic light on desperate faces and clenched fists. Elliot's heart pounds, the ledger in his coat feels like a ticking bomb. His silver pocket watch ticks ominously in his hand, a coded call alerting him to a covert meeting location. The cold metal contrasts with the warmth of the neon, marking time in an unforgiving city. Elliot slips it back into his vest pocket, eyes scanning for any shadow that moves too quickly. At a neon-lit diner, Maeve confesses her past ties to Victor's syndicate, now a perilous double agent. Her voice quivers with conflicted loyalty and fragile hope as they plot their next moves. The diner's garish lights and humming signs frame their uneasy alliance. Suddenly, footsteps approach, sharp and deliberate under the flickering diner lights. Elliot and Maeve freeze, their breaths shallow, instincts sharpened. The anticipation of danger hangs heavy in the air, time seeming to freeze along with the trembling neon. In a swift motion, Elliot slips the ledger into his coat as they silently retreat into the misty night. The cold air wraps around them, thick with uncertainty and determination. The stakes have never been higher, and the city's shadows refuse to part easily. An ambush erupts in a dark alley, forcing Elliot and Maeve to separate in desperate flight. Gunfire echoes off damp brick walls as they each fight through the claustrophobic maze of alleys. Their paths diverge, bound by survival and the promise to reunite. Elliot relies on his cunning to evade Victor's relentless men, darting through the city's labyrinth with the ledger clutched tightly. Narrow escapes mask close calls as he navigates familiar shadows, the flickering neon guiding and deceiving in equal measure. His trench coat billows like a ghost as he vanishes into the night. Maeve confronts a traitor within her old circle, her scar barely visible in the dim light as she forces revelations from a trembling voice. The exchange yields a crucial clue about Victor's next move, threading new danger into their web. Her resolve hardens, fueled by past wounds and present betrayal. Reluctantly, Detective Harris teams up with Elliot, his gruff exterior masking growing doubts about the city's pervasive corruption. Their uneasy alliance is punctuated by terse exchanges and shared purpose. The toothpick remains clenched, but a flicker of trust begins to grow. Together, they uncover a sinister plan to rig the upcoming city elections, a scheme intricately linked to the ledger's coded entries. This revelation casts a long shadow over the city's fragile facade of democracy. The weight of exposure and consequence presses down upon them. Elliot painstakingly deciphers the ledger's coded entries, revealing scheduled clandestine meetings and illicit payoffs. Each deciphered line pulls back another layer of the city's clandestine power plays. The ticking silver watch marks the relentless passage of time and encroaching danger. Maeve discovers a familiar name within the ledger's pages, a revelation shaking her to the core and hinting at betrayals perilously close to home. Her hands tremble as the scarred memory aches anew. Trust becomes a scarce currency in a city of shadows. While tailing a suspect through rain-soaked streets, Elliot becomes caught in a violent shootout, bullets tearing the night apart. He escapes by mere seconds, heart pounding against his ribs as danger brushes past like a phantom. The ledger remains safe, swaddled beneath his coat. An old friend at the city's newspaper agrees to publish their findings, but cautions of ruthless enemies lurking in the darkness. The promise of exposure comes with a whispered warning of consequences. Neon lights outside flicker like the fragile line between truth and survival. Maeve's scar, usually hidden beneath fiery strands of hair, is revealed in a rare moment of vulnerability as a mark from past violence inflicted by Victor's henchmen. The pain etched in its jagged line deepens her motivation to bring him down. In that scar lies a story of loss, defiance, and unyielding courage. In the shadows of an abandoned warehouse, rain streamed through shattered windows, casting streaks of silver across the cracked concrete. Elliot Gray adjusted his faded trench coat, his sharp eyes meeting Maeve Sinclair's for a brief moment of mutual resolve amidst the desolation. Maeve's crimson hair clung damply against her face, the scar above her eyebrow tightening as they exchanged whispered plans to move forward carefully. Meanwhile, in a smoke-filled back room, Victor Dane's piercing gray eyes flashed with fury as he barked orders to his cotter. "Find Elliot Gray, no stone unturned, no alley unchecked," he demanded, his voice cutting through the haze of cigar smoke. The city's underworld seemed to pulse with tension as a manhunt was set in motion, placing everyone on precarious edge. Taking advantage of the chaos, Elliot slipped a forged note into a worn leather ledger, planting false intel about a shipment near the docks. Victor's men pursued the lead eagerly, falling into a carefully crafted trap beneath flickering neon lights. The trap was sprung, but the danger was far from over in the maze of shadowy alleys. Behind closed doors, Maeve's guarded expression faltered as she faced her deepest fears. With a voice barely above a whisper, she confided a secret she had long cloaked from Elliot, her scar seeming to burn with renewed pain. This revelation reshaped the fragile trust between them, setting new stakes for their partnership. Detective Harris, chewing a toothpick with a grimace, uncovered whispers of betrayal within his own precinct. His jagged beard shadowed his troubled gaze as he realized a mole was sabotaging their every effort. The trust that once held the police force together began to unravel, plunging the city deeper into suspicion. Unseen in the guttering glow of streetlights, a mysterious figure watched Elliot's every move from the shadows. The silhouette remained motionless, silent, but the weight of their unseen presence added an ominous thread to the night's unfolding peril. Elliot's instincts prickled. He was being hunted from more directions than he realized. Inside Victor's lair, a late-night meeting revealed fractures in his once impervious inner circle. Whispered accusations and wary glances hinted at a potential informant undermining their operations. The cracks in Victor's empire began to widen, threatening to bring down the powerful crime boss from within. Elliot and Maeve barely escaped an explosion detonated in an attempt to silence them forever. The blast shook the ground beneath the flickering neon signs as flames licked the edges of the warehouse nearby. Shaken, but unbowed, their resolve hardened against the growing danger closing in. The steady ticking of a silver pocket watch filled the tense silence as Elliot raced against time to decode a cryptic final message. Each second brought him closer to a vital truth, the intricate gears mirroring the pulse of the city around him. The watch's relentless rhythm became a heartbeat driving him forward. Maeve held the blood-stained matchbook she had retrieved from the latest grim crime scene, her fingers tightening around it like a lifeline. It was a spark in the dark, a clue pointing toward the tangled web of Victor's operations. This new lead set the duo on a fresh trail through the labyrinthine city streets. Detective Harris arrived just in time, navigating his conflicted loyalties to provide critical backup. His gruff presence and toothpick still clenched between his teeth gave a fleeting sense of stability in the chaos. Though hesitant, his alliance with Elliot and Maeve marked a crucial turning point in their struggle. Victor gathered his closest allies in a tense meeting, asserting control with an iron fist coated in doubt. His piercing eyes scanned the room, revealing vulnerabilities beneath the tough exterior. The gathering underscored the mounting cracks spreading through his criminal network. Elliot confronted one of Victor's trusted lieutenants in the shadows of a dimly lit alley, extracting vital information that shifted the balance of power. The lieutenant's guarded expressions faltered under Elliot's relentless questioning. This new intel hinted at surprises lurking in the city's darkest corners. Betrayal cut sharply when a trusted ally was unmasked as working for Victor all along. Elliot's jaw clenched against the sting of deception as alliances were revealed to be far more fragile than they appeared. Trust became a rare and dangerous commodity under the flickering neon glow. In a risky gambit, Maeve confronted a heavily guarded key witness to extract a confession. The tension was palpable as the witness's resolve crumbled under Maeve's unyielding pursuit. This breakthrough illuminated new facets of the tangled conspiracy, engulfing them. A frantic pursuit through rain-slick streets ended with Elliot cornered, the city's shadows closing in. Yet his resourcefulness and quick thinking kept him one step ahead, leveraging flickering neon signs as cover. The chase embodied the relentless danger of the night's deadly game. At last, the significance of the worn leather ledger became clear. It contained incriminating proof of crimes capable of dismantling Victor's syndicate. Each page turned was a dagger aimed at the heart of corruption, unlocking secrets long buried. The ledger was the key weapon in their fight for justice. Victor's network began to fracture as paranoia and distrust seeped through his ranks. Allies questioned each other, while suspicion poisoned every interaction under the shadowy city lights. His empire's foundation trembled as enemies within gathered strength. Elliot planted fabricated evidence implicating corrupt officials who stood complicit in Victor's schemes. The gambit aimed to expose the rot at multiple levels of power, using deception as a weapon against deceit. This blow struck wider than Victor expected, unsettling the entire criminal hierarchy. With nerves steeled and resolve as hard as forged steel, Maeve prepared to face Victor directly. Her crimson hair seemed aflame beneath the neon glow, the scar above her eyebrow a testament to battles fought and surviving. She stepped into the lion's den with unyielding purpose. Elliot trailed Maeve cautiously, shadows concealing his movements as tension mounted between protective instinct and uncertainty. Each step they took further into danger underscored the fragile alliance holding them together. He vowed to ensure she did not walk into a deadly trap alone. Beneath flickering neon signs, a clandestine meeting unfolded, revealing unexpected alliances that could shift the city's power balance. Suspicious glances and whispered agreements hinted at new players entering the fray. The terrain of trust was shifting under the dim glow of the night. Elliot confronted Detective Harris, his sharp eyes probing the detective's shifting loyalties. The jagged beard and toothpick remained constant, but the tension between them crackled in the damp air. Questions hung heavily, unresolved and dangerous. During a heated confrontation, Maeve's scar was nicked once more, the fresh sting deepening the personal stakes of their perilous quest. Blood mingled with rain, underscoring the cost of their mission beneath the ever-present neon haze. The wound was both a reminder and a warning. Following the trail from the blood-stained matchbook, Elliot discovered an abandoned safe house plastered with revelations. Dust motes danced in the shadows as the worn leather ledger lay open, its secrets spilling into the dim light. Each discovery pulled the case tighter, inching toward a dark truth waiting to be unearthed. Elliot's fingers trembled as they flipped to the final pages of the worn leather ledger. Names of powerful city officials, intertwined with forgotten victims, spilled onto the yellowed sheets, a chilling web of deceit and dark secrets. Each entry cast a long shadow over the city's corrupt heart, confirming what Elliot had feared all along. Under the cold glare of flickering neon signs, Elliot and Maeve coordinated with their trusted allies, tense voices barely audible over the steady rain. Victor's safe house, hidden deep in a maze of shadowy alleyways, bristled with danger as the raid began. The night felt electric with anticipation and dread, each step toward the building echoing like a heartbeat. Rain-slick walls mirrored the standoff's tense choreography, shadows leaping and retreating with each cautious movement. Gunmetal glinted sharply in the dim light as forces bristled with suppressed energy. Words hung heavy between the combatants, as fragile as the flickering neon above, signaling the fragile line between survival and ruin. Victor's calculated attempt to slip away unraveled swiftly as his own men, eyes dark with betrayal, closed in like a tightening noose. His confidence wavered under the weight of unexpected treachery, forcing him into a desperate corner. The betrayal echoed louder than the rain, sealing his fate as he found himself ensnared by those he once ruled. With a steady gaze, Maeve faced Victor, the scar above her eyebrow catching the dim light like a silent battle wound. Her voice was firm and unyielding as she bargained for truth and justice, demanding the revelation of the darkness hidden beneath his empire. In that moment, past and present collided, her calm resolve challenging his fading power. Detective Harris, the jagged beard taut with emotion, stepped out from the shadows and broke ranks publicly, his voice cutting through the tension. He tore open the veil of police corruption, exposing allies turned adversaries in a city tangled in lies. His bold defiance sparked a turning point, lighting a path toward redemption amid the encroaching night. As dawn crept forward, the city's neon lights flickered back to life, piercing through the remnants of night's oppressive cloak. The renewed glow painted the rain-washed streets in hues of hope and renewal, symbolizing a fragile new dawn free from fear. Each bulb's steady blaze whispered promises of change under the clearing sky. Elliot closed the worn leather ledger with reverence, the tome now heavy with hard-fought victory and painful truths. It rested like a silent witness to the city's dark underbelly and the courage it took to bring its secrets into the light. In his hands, it became more than a book. It was a testament to resolve amid the shadows. Maeve melted into the misty streets, a ghost carriage of faded scars and whispered stories. Her crimson hair vanished into the dawn's pale light, reclaiming freedom with a quiet, enigmatic grace. The scar above her eyebrow remained a silent emblem of battles fought and freedom won, a legacy etched in shadow and light. Alone on the rain-washed pavement, Elliot clutched the silver pocket watch, its steady ticking a metronome for the city's uncertain future. The fading echoes of last night's struggle settled around him as he prepared for whatever came next. In the cool morning air, beneath the blinking neon, he stood ready, a solitary sentinel guarding the fragile dawn. Under the dim glow of a street lamp, Detective Marlowe crouched beside the shattered glass of the old music shop window. Inside, among the scattered shards and broken strings, lay the body of Victor Chen, the town's renowned harpist. A single, crumpled sheet of music rested in his hand, untitled and unfamiliar. "What were you playing, Victor?" Marlowe whispered, eyes scanning the note for any clue. "The shop owner, Mrs. Grady," appeared from the shadows, clutching her shawl tight. "He came in earlier, scared. Said someone was after the composition he discovered." Marlowe examined the sheet again. The note seemed ordinary, yet there was an odd symbol scratched in the margin. A jagged lightning bolt. He recalled an old town legend about a lost melody, hidden within pieces of music, that could drive listeners mad. Determined, Marlowe headed to the local library's archives, fingers tracing over dusty ledgers and faded newspaper clippings. There, he found a record of a harpist from decades ago, who vanished after unveiling a captivating tune linked to that very symbol. The pieces fit. Victor had uncovered the same haunting melody, and someone wanted to keep it secret. Back at the shop, Marlowe noticed a locked drawer beneath the counter, and a faint humming sound emanating from within. Using a hairpin, he picked the lock. Inside lay a small, intricately carved music box playing the melody from the mysterious sheet. The tune floated eerily in the air. Marlowe felt a strange dizziness, but clenched his jaw in resolve. Suddenly, a shadowy figure emerged from the back room, a rival musician desperate to silence Victor and claim the composition. "You don't understand its power," the figure hissed, lunging toward Marlowe. Quick reflexes saved him, and during the scuffle, the music box fell silent as it shattered on the floor. The intruder fled, leaving behind a trail of whispered threats and unfinished secrets. Marlowe secured the scene, deciding to safeguard the sheet music and the broken box pieces, vowing to uncover the full story. As dawn broke, the quiet town stirred, unaware of the melody that almost consumed its soul. Marlowe glanced at the crumpled notes one last time. "Some tunes," he mused, "are better left unplayed." Marvin stands before the mirror, his fingers gently stroking the proud, thick curls of his mustache. He adjusts his round spectacles and contemplates the day ahead, feeling ready for any challenge. Leela bursts into the apartment with a grin, holding up a brightly colored invitation to a mustache competition. "Uncle Marvin, you have to enter," she exclaims, her pink hair bouncing with excitement. Marvin smiles confidently, tightening his yellow and green striped tie, a sure sign of his determined mood. "I'll win it again this year," he declares with pride. He carefully arranges his grooming tools on the cluttered desk, while Mr. Whiskers slinks silently behind, eyeing the gleaming mustache comb with suspicious intent. With one final glance at the mirror, Marvin waves goodbye to Leela, who promises to guard the apartment and keep everything just right. Marvin steps onto the bustling city street, his stride confident and purposeful as he heads toward the competition venue, buzzing with excitement. Midway through his walk, Marvin suddenly freezes, feeling an uncanny lightness on his face where his mustache should be. Confused, he stops in his tracks. He peers into a shop window reflection and gasps. His cherished, curly mustache has completely vanished without a trace. In a surge of panic, Marvin sprints back home, overturning piles of vintage knickknacks and hunting all corners for any clue to his missing mustache. Leela arrives with a determined gleam in her eye, just as Marvin inspects his grooming kit through his magnifying glass, vowing to uncover the mystery at all costs. Mr. Whiskers flicks his tail leisurely, knocking Marvin's mustache comb off the table with a deliberate swish, watching their reactions carefully. Leela crouches near the windowsill and points to tiny strands of hair left behind, suggesting that the aloof tabby may be involved in the disappearance. Determined, Marvin sets up a variety of comical traps around the apartment, from sticky mustache-shaped nets to jars of swirling potions, hoping to catch the elusive thief. Despite the efforts, Mr. Whiskers nimbly evades every trap, slipping through false walls and darting beneath furniture, while Marvin and Leela grow increasingly frustrated and weary. The hours tick down toward the competition, tension mounting as Marvin feels the pressure of reclaiming his identity and pride before it's too late. Seeking alternative help, Marvin and Leela visit an eccentric local barber who offers a strange, temporary fake mustache potion with wild promises. Marvin tries the potion nervously, but it causes his mustache to wiggle uncontrollably like a living creature, drawing amused stares and creating a public spectacle they hadn't anticipated. Embarrassed and frustrated, Marvin ditches the potion and decides to pursue leads outside, scanning the streets for anything resembling his lost mustache. Along a crowded street, Marvin spots a stranger sporting a suspiciously familiar curly mustache that seems oddly out of place, stirring Marvin's suspicion. Confronting the man, Marvin receives evasive answers, but the man inadvertently reveals a hidden stash of mustache wax, intensifying the mystery. Leela connects the dots, proposing that this man could be part of a mustache smuggling ring, explaining the strange disappearance. Following a trail of wax droplets that glisten along the pavement, they arrive at a shadowy underground hideout filled with peculiar mustache-related artifacts. Hidden inside, they overhear hushed voices discussing an exclusive mustache auction scheduled for that very evening, offering a crucial lead. Realizing their slim chance to recover the mustache, Marvin and Leela swiftly plan to infiltrate the auction, crafting disguises to pass as eccentric collectors. Donning flamboyant costumes adorned with exaggerated fake mustaches, they step into the shadowy auction room, blending into a crowd of curious enthusiasts. At the auction, Marvin's eyes fixate on a small, intriguing box labeled "The Finest Curly Mustache." His heart races, seeing a chance to reclaim what he lost. The box seems almost enchanted, promising a secret to his missing mustache. Marvin nervously raises his bid among a crowd of dubious bidders cloaked in shadows and whispers. Each increase tightens the knot of tension in his stomach. Suddenly, a mysterious figure outbids him at the last moment, their identity hidden by a wide-brimmed hat and darkness. Refusing to give up, Marvin signals Leela with a glance. In response, she theatrically sways and collapses dramatically at the auction floor, drawing all eyes towards her. Instant uproar erupts as bidders rush to Leela's side, concerned for her sudden faint. The distraction creates a perfect moment for Marvin to stealthily slip the coveted box into his coat pocket. Back in a quiet corner, Marvin eagerly opens the box, only to find a cryptic note inside. It reads, "Look close in your own reflection," leaving Marvin puzzled and intrigued. Perplexed, Marvin pulls out his trusty pocket mirror and lifts it toward his face. Behind him, Mr. Whiskers sits calmly, licking his fur in a peculiar, deliberate manner that catches Marvin's eye. Suddenly, Marvin notices a tuft of his curly mustache clinging stubbornly to Mr. Whiskers' striped collar. The revelation dawns like a bolt of lightning. The cat is involved. The trio quickly pieces it together. Mr. Whiskers must have playfully swiped the mustache earlier, unknowingly causing the great disappearance. Marvin can't help but chuckle at the feline's mischievous role. Back in his cluttered vintage apartment, Marvin tenderly massages conditioner into his chin. He's hopeful, if a bit skeptical, wishing for even the slightest sign of regrowth before the next competition. Leela, ever inventive, whips up a quirky mustache growth potion using random kitchen ingredients. She presents it to Marvin with a mischievous grin, dubbing it their last, humorous hope. Marvin applies the homemade concoction cautiously, his fingers crossed beneath his perfectly striped yellow and green tie. Despite his skepticism, there's a glimmer of hope in his eyes. To their amazement, tiny hairs begin sprouting unevenly across Marvin's upper lip. The patchy new look is amusing if nothing else, but it breathes new life into his confidence. Emboldened by his unique growth, Marvin straightens his tie and adjusts his spectacles. He sets off determined to embrace this quirky new mustache at the competition venue. Upon arrival, the crowd bursts into laughter and cheers at Marvin's half-grown, unconventional mustache. The warm welcome deflates his nerves and fills him with unexpected pride. During the contest, Marvin captivates the audience with a witty speech about humor and acceptance. His charm and honesty resonate deeply, transforming the event's atmosphere. The judges, thoroughly entertained and impressed, award Marvin a special, most original mustache prize. It's a surprising twist that celebrates creativity over perfection. Beside him, Leela beams with pride while Mr. Whiskers purrs contentedly. Marvin's grin stretches wider than ever, his spirit lifted by their shared victory. The enigmatic auction figure reappears, stepping out of the shadows with a kind smile. They reveal themselves as a retired mustache champion, commending Marvin's admirable spirit. They hand Marvin an old photo album filled with bold, eccentric mustache styles from decades past. The images spark a newfound inspiration to explore diverse, playful looks in the days ahead. Marvin expresses heartfelt thanks to Leela and Mr. Whiskers. He realizes that sometimes unexpected mishaps blossom into remarkable adventures filled with laughter and growth. Back home, the trio settles into familiar comfort as Marvin carefully tends to his regrowing mustache. The cluttered apartment feels warmer, echoing their shared bond and triumph. Inspired, Leela begins a scrapbook titled Marvin's Mustache Mysteries, capturing every quirky moment of their journey. It's a testament to their camaraderie and Marvin's unmatched mustache saga. Mr. Whiskers curls up cozily on Marvin's lap, sporting a tiny, comically fake mustache crafted by Leela. The sight elicits chuckles and a sense of playfulness that fills the room. Marvin practices various mustache styles in the mirror, each more whimsical than the last. His striped yellow and green tie remains impeccably in place, matching his light-hearted mood. The apartment soon buzzes with laughter and cheer as they prepare a small celebration party. Quirky mustache-themed decorations dangle from the ceiling, marking an unforgettable chapter in Marvin's life. Suddenly, a letter slid gracefully under Marvin's cluttered apartment door, its envelope sealed with an elaborate mustache emblem that immediately caught his meticulous eye. He picked it up, intrigued by this unexpected delivery amidst his familiar vintage surroundings. Inside the envelope, Marvin discovered an elegant invitation to the International Mustache Festival, beckoning him to showcase his signature bushy, curly mustache among the world's finest. This was the next grand challenge he had been unknowingly awaiting. Leela bounced with excitement, her bright pink hair shaking as she suggested they travel together to the festival, igniting dreams of mustache adventures spanning the globe. Marvin's heart warmed at the idea of sharing this whimsical journey with his lively niece. With focused energy, Marvin packed his cherished grooming kit, carefully placing his magnifying glass, assorted potion bottles, and the ever-important mustache comb inside. Ready for mystery and maintenance alike, he prepared to face whatever surprises the festival might hold. Mr. Whiskers, ever the aloof companion, lazily inspected a new batch of mustache wax on the windowsill, his patch-over-one-eye gaze hinting that he too would join in on their next escapade. The tabby's subtle chaos was always part of their story. Marvin took a reflective moment before the mirror to admire his fully regrown mustache, now showing a distinguished hint of silver at the tips of its curls. This sign of time added character to his ever-prized facial feature, a symbol of his enduring spirit. A gentle smile spread across Marvin's face as he thought back. Losing his mustache had taught him to find joy beyond appearances and embrace life's unexpected turns with grace. The tie around his neck, striped yellow and green, seemed to brighten in approval. The trio stepped out from the cozy, cluttered apartment onto the bustling city street, ready to embark on their upcoming journey together. The air was filled with promise, and their spirits danced in unison with the crowd's lively rhythm. Behind them, a stray curl of hair floated lazily in the gentle breeze, a playful reminder that every grand adventure begins with a single, seemingly insignificant strand. It twirled like the start of a new story, yet to be told. The scene faded out with Marvin adjusting his striped tie confidently, Leela grinning mischievously, and Mr. Whiskers trailing silently behind. United and spirited, they were all set for whatever curious mysteries awaited them next. In the heart of the ancient forest stood the whispering oak, its vast branches swaying even when the air was still. Elara, a young mapmaker from the nearby village, ventured to the tree, drawn by tales of its mysterious murmurs. She reached the tree just as twilight painted the sky in purple hues, the whispers growing louder in the fading light. Leaning close, she could make out words woven with stories of lost lands and forgotten magic. Intrigued, Elara pressed her ear to the bark, and a sudden warmth spread through her fingertips. The tree revealed a secret map etched within its rings, visible only to those who listened with an open heart. Elara traced the delicate lines, and suddenly the map shimmered, unfolding a path to a hidden glade. Determined, she set off along the trail, leaves crunching underfoot, guided by the oak's gentle whispers. The forest seemed alive, shadows dancing and stars peeking through the canopy above. After crossing a silver stream and climbing mossy stones, Elara arrived at the glade bathed in moonlight. At its center stood a stone pedestal bearing an ancient key, glowing softly under the night sky. She reached out, fingers trembling, and took the key, feeling a pulse of magic coursing through her veins. The whispering oak's voice echoed gently, "With this, you unlock more than doors, you unlock destinies." Elara smiled, understanding the journey was just beginning, but the mapmaker's curiosity was her true compass. Returning home at dawn, the forest alive with morning light, she held the key close, ready for the next adventure. Villagers noticed a new spark in her eyes, tales spreading about the girl who spoke to trees and followed whispers. Elara knew the oak's secret was safe with her, a bridge between worlds waiting to be crossed again. And every so often, when the breeze stirred just right, the whispering oak called to her once more. Remember, it would say softly, the greatest maps are drawn with courage and heart. With a newfound purpose, Elara set her quill to parchment, ready to chart the wonders hidden beyond the known world. Elena Ward arrives at the dimly lit apartment on Marrow Street, her sharp eyes scanning the shadows that cling to the cracked walls. The night air is thick with tension as she moves cautiously, every step measured and quiet. Her gaze falls on shattered glass scattered beside a locked antique chest against the far wall. The fractured pieces glint like broken memories, hinting at a struggle that happened not long ago. From a shadowed alley nearby, Marcus Flynn watches Elena intently. His calm demeanor masks a flurry of concern as he fixes his gaze on the apartment window, contemplating his next move. Inside, Elena kneels to pick up a silver locket from the floor, turning it over under the flickering light. The intricate engraving catches her eye, pulling her deeper into the mystery woven around it. A distant siren wails through the night as Elena's eyes catch a faded photograph tucked beneath the chest. The image shows 4 figures, one unmistakably Victor Hale, their faces frozen in a moment from another time. Her phone buzzes suddenly, a text flashing, a terse warning urging her to stop digging into the past before it's too late. Elena's fingers tighten around the device, the threat crystal clear. Back in the alley, Marcus speaks in a low voice on his phone, mentioning Alina's name with uneasy concern. His words suggest that the shadows around Marrow Street conceal more than just secrets. From across the street, Victor Hale emerges from the darkness, his intense glare locked on Alina through the window. His unreadable expression blurs between menace and something more complicated. A flashback unfolds in daylight. Victor stands at a park bench, handing the silver locket to a young girl, his face softer than before. This memory hints at a hidden connection tied to the locket and the secrets Alina seeks. Returning to the present, Alina slips the locket into her pocket and moves toward a nearby cafe where Leela Marks waits anxiously. The streetlights cast long shadows, mirroring the unease that settles between them. In the cafe, Leela pushes a folded note across the table, her curly red hair bouncing as she glances nervously at the door. Her eyes flicker with urgency, signaling the risks they face. Alina unfolds the note, reading about a hidden room beneath Marrow Street's oldest building where answers might lie. The promise of revelation tightens the knot of tension around them. The cafe door creaks, drawing a sharp breath from Leela as Victor steps inside. The atmosphere shifts instantly. His presence is a silent threat that chills the air. Alina sips her coffee calmly, eyes discreetly flicking toward Victor. Her outward composure masks the heightened alertness of someone navigating a web of danger. The true stakes emerge. A missing heirloom tangled with a betrayal long buried, its revelation capable of upending lives. The dangerous secret at the heart of the mystery sharpens their resolve and deepens the peril. Alina descends into the hidden room, guided only by faint wall markings illuminated dimly and the silver locket's engraving. The darkness confines her, fragmented reflections hinting at the fractured truths she searches for. Marcus appears unexpectedly, stepping into the underground space with a reluctant offer of help. His cryptic warning about trust hangs heavily between them, complicating their fragile alliance. Faded letters pinned to the walls surround them, words revealing conspiracy threads tying all the main players together. The layered betrayals echo in the silent underground. A loose floorboard shifts as Alina steps, uncovering a hidden compartment containing an aged diary. Its pages promise secrets long obscured by shadows and silence. Flipping through the diary, Alina finds entries chronicling a coup decades ago within a powerful family. Each word deepens the web of intrigue, binding past and present more tightly. Outside, Victor intercepts Leela in the misty street, his voice low and demanding information on Alina's location. The threat in his eyes leaves Leela cornered and tense. Suddenly, the dim light flickers and dies as Alina reads passages implicating Victor in the darkest folds of the mystery. Shadows twist ominously around her, swallowing the room in silence. Marcus pulls a small flashlight from his pocket, its beam piercing the gloom to reveal a hidden map etched behind the diary. The illuminated lines trace a path into the depths beneath Marrow Street's catacombs. The map leads them to a forgotten vault, its heavy doors sealed by time and secrets. The path ahead promises danger, but also the key to unlocking the tangled past. Alina and Marcus move toward the vault's shadowed entrance as Leela sends a covert message on her phone. Each step forward tightens the threads of their intertwined fates, shadows stretching long into the night. The heavy vault door groans under pressure, its rusted hinges groaning before it grudgingly swings open. Inside lies a trove of artifacts and documents, frozen in time and cloaked in dust. The air smells of old paper and secrets long buried beneath layers of shadow. Abruptly, the echo of footsteps ricochets off the cold stone walls. Victor emerges with two shadowy figures at his side, their presence a dark blockade at the only exit. The tension coalesces, thick enough to cut through with a whispered threat. Alina swiftly raises the silver locket, catching the flickering light to reveal a concealed symbol matching the vault's emblem. The gesture freezes the room, the locket's glow defying the darkness around them. This emblem ties the present moment to a deeper, hidden history. One of Victor's companions lunges for the locket, but Marcus intercepts with practiced precision, his hand slamming down to halt the snatch. The sudden clash breaks the fragile stillness into sharp urgency. Alina sidesteps, heart pounding beneath fractured glass reflections. A glance catches Alina's eye on a cracked mirror, its fragmented surface offering glimpses beyond the vault walls. There, faintly outlined in shadow, is the entrance to a concealed escape tunnel. Hope glimmers alongside the fractured truths around them. Seizing the moment, Alina and Marcus slip through the hidden passage, silent against the cold stone. Behind them, Victor's roar of frustration echoes, restrained yet simmering with menace. The night swallows their flight as shadows lengthen across Marrow Street. Leela's intercepted call crackles in Victor's ear, revealing betrayal not only at hand, but woven through their ranks. Conflicted, Victor wrestles with loyalties pulled tight between past alliances and present threats. His gaze darkens, torn between fury and reluctant strategy. Emerging near the aged clock tower, Alina and Marcus catch their breath, the weight of pursuit pressing behind. Their eyes meet, determination flickering amidst exhaustion. The urban night cloaks their resolve as they prepare to untangle the threads of the mystery. Inside the ancient tower, Alina's hands deftly turn gears and cogs, orchestrating a silent dance of mechanism. The hidden compartment swings open, revealing a faded portrait tucked beneath layers of dust. Time's shadows flicker across their faces, frozen in painted stillness. The portrait reveals younger versions of Alina, Marcus, Victor, and Leela, bound by smiles and secrets alike. Their youthful eyes hold unspoken stories, the origins of entangled fates now slowly surfacing. The past breathes in every cracked line and faded hue. Alina's scar tingles unbearably, memories fracturing and flooding through her mind. Shattered moments coalesce around the conspiracy that has haunted her life, each shard piercing deeper than before. The link between past wounds and present danger sharpens with chilling clarity. Marcus lowers his gaze, admitting a hidden allegiance entwined with the family's ruin. His revelation complicates their fragile alliance, threading betrayal into their shared quest. Secrets once buried now surface amidst flickering shadows and fractured trust. Tracking Alina's movements through twisting alleys and dimly lit streets, Victor pieces together fragments of the puzzle. His eyes narrow beneath the play of shadows and streetlight reflections, calculating each step closer. The city itself seems to watch, silent and waiting. Cornered yet composed, Alina extends an offer of truce to Victor, proposing a joint effort to unveil the truth. She speaks with conviction, hoping to channel past enmities into preventing further harm. Shadows and reflections flicker as loyalties hang in the balance. Victor, hesitant but drawn by curiosity, consents to her proposal. He reveals a hidden safe, its lock clicking open to expose a confession letter bound in time. The weight of the letter promises turbulent revelations beneath the fractured layers of their past. From the letter unfolds the story behind the fractured glass motif, a violent confrontation years before that shattered more than just windows. The confession paints a raw scene of betrayal and broken bonds etched deep into their histories. The shards of truth glisten under the dim light. The trio debates the timing and manner of exposing the betrayal, aware the wrong move could destroy them all. Each voice carries the burden of consequence, their shadows tangled as uncertainty lingers. Strategizing in whispers, they weigh revelation against survival. Leela interrupts, brandishing surveillance footage, capturing a crucial scene from the past. Her discovery corroborates the confession's claims, offering irrefutable evidence from fractured moments frozen in time. The flickering screen illuminates faces and deeds once hidden in shadow. United in purpose, the group plans to leak the evidence anonymously, their actions cloaked beneath Marrow Street's lengthening shadows. The city hums unknowingly as truths prepare to surface amid fractures and reflections. Change pulses quietly beneath the urban night. As dawn stretches its first light, fractured glass from a broken window glints one last time, symbolizing the cusp of transformation. The shards scatter prismatic signals across the walls, reflecting hopes and fears alike. The city stirs, on the brink of awakening and revelation. News of the uncovered conspiracy spreads swiftly, igniting public intrigue and unease throughout the city. Conversations ripple from shadowed corners to bustling streets, the mystery no longer confined to whispers. Marrow Street pulses with a tension that refuses to fade. Returning to the antique chest, Alina places the silver locket carefully inside, locking it away from prying eyes. The act is both a closure and a safeguard amid the swirling chaos of truth and deceit. The locket's intricate engraving catches the fading light, silent amidst secrets. Marcus melts into the crowd, his intentions veiled and his departure marked by quiet ambiguity. Elena watches, reflecting on the tangled interplay of trust and betrayal that has defined their tangled journey. The city's heart beats on, unyielding beneath fractured skies. From a shadowed rooftop, Victor surveys the sprawling city below, contemplative and unmoving. The lights flicker like distant memories, each pulse a reminder of battles fought in both darkness and daylight. His expression is unreadable, wrapped in the weight of unfolding fate. Leela joins Elena quietly, their shared glance an unspoken acknowledgement of survival and the burden of secrets kept. Together, they stand on Marrow Street, shadows stretching long around them. In the silence, their resolve hardens against the gathering night. A sudden flashback illuminates the truth behind the locket's engraving. It is a symbol of sacrifice and hope, carved by a hidden ancestor who protected their kin from a terrible fate. The fractured glass from earlier scenes reflects in this memory, breaking the past into shards that finally fit together. Back in the present, Elena carefully opens the silver locket and discovers a folded, aged letter addressed to her. The handwriting is familiar, belonging to someone she loved and lost long ago, the words etched with a deep sense of urgency and care. As Elena reads, her eyes well with emotion. The letter speaks of promises made, to protect, to remember, and to bear the heavy burden of knowledge passed down through generations. The weight of the past settles over her, but so does a newfound strength, as the fractured pieces of truth begin to heal. The group gathers once more on Marrow Street, their faces marked by the trials endured, but now united in fragile trust. Despite the scars and shadows that cling to them, an unspoken bond forms, knit by the shared revelation and the enduring mysteries they've faced together. As the sun dips low, its fading light casts long shadows across the cracked pavement of Marrow Street, mirroring the lingering secrets that still haunt the night. The city's atmosphere holds both the weight of past darkness and the delicate promise of dawn yet to come. Elena steps out from her apartment, locking the door behind her with a decisive click. She leaves the past firmly in that quiet space, but carries the lessons it imparted, etched in the silver locket that now hangs heavy around her neck. In the calm of her home, Elena sets the silver locket on the mantelpiece, its engraving catching the faint light. It stands as a solemn reminder of what was lost, what was fought for, and the silent hope that endures beneath the surface. Across town, Leela tends to a small plant by the window, nurturing new growth amidst the decay of the city. It is a quiet symbol of resilience and renewal, an echo of the fragile beginnings that rise from broken roots. A message pings on Marcus's phone, his voice calm and steady over the recording. He promises aid should darkness return, a reassuring tether to strength and solidarity in an uncertain world. The city breathes as night fades into morning, alive with secrets and shadows that twist through its streets. Elena steps into the soft light of dawn, ready to meet whatever comes next with eyes clear and purpose renewed. Every morning, Emma stopped by the same cafe for her coffee. It was her little ritual, a quiet moment before the day spun out of control. Today, the cafe was unusually busy. She glanced at the counter, hoping for her usual order, a simple black coffee, no fuss. As she waited, she noticed an elderly man struggling to reach the sugar packets. He was a regular too, always sitting in the corner reading. Emma walked over and offered him one, smiling warmly. "Here, let me help you with that." He looked up, surprised but grateful. "Thank you, young lady. It's the little things that make a morning better," he said. They struck up a conversation, sharing stories about their favorite books and the city's changing streets. Before long, the barista called out, "Emma, your coffee's ready." She took her cup, then turned back to the man and offered, "Would you like to share it with me?" He chuckled softly. "I think I'll stick to my tea, but I'd enjoy the company." They found a cozy spot by the window, watching the world move briskly outside while their conversation slowed to a comfortable pace. Emma realized this unexpected encounter was the best part of her day so far, a reminder that sometimes, slowing down brings new connections. As the cafe began to empty, the man glanced at his watch. "I have to get going, but this was lovely." Emma nodded, feeling a warmth deeper than the coffee in her hands. "Me too. Maybe tomorrow, same time." "I'd like that," he replied with a smile, gathering his things. She watched him leave and took a sip of her coffee, savoring the moment. The barista approached, wiping his hands. "Looks like you made a new friend today." Emma smiled. "Yeah, sometimes the best part of the morning isn't the coffee, it's the company." She gathered her things, ready to face the day with a lighter heart. As she stepped outside, the sun was climbing higher, and the city seemed a little less hurried, a little more welcoming. And Emma knew that every morning held the promise of something new, something warm, just like this last cup of coffee. On a crisp autumn morning, Emily noticed something was missing: a cozy blue sweater she loved dearly. She searched her small cottage from corner to corner, lifting cushions and peeking under furniture. Outside, the sun was just beginning to warm the world, casting golden light through the window. Emily remembered yesterday's walk through the park and wondered if she might have left it there. Bundling up, she stepped outside, breathing in the fresh air, feeling the comforting chill of fall. She made her way to the park, where crunchy leaves carpeted the winding paths. As she walked, she greeted familiar faces: Mr. Jenkins tending his roses and little Mia chasing after a butterfly. Emily asked if anyone had seen her blue sweater. No one had yet, but they promised to keep an eye out. Just as doubt began to creep in, Emily spotted a flash of blue near the old oak tree. She hurried over and found her sweater caught on a low branch, gently swaying in the breeze. Relieved, she laughed softly. I suppose it wanted to see the sunrise too. On her way home, she wrapped the sweater around her shoulders, feeling its warmth return to her spirit. Back inside, she brewed a cup of tea and settled by the window, the sweater snug and familiar. The sunlight spilled in, filling the room with a golden glow that felt like a gentle hug. Emily smiled, realizing that sometimes small troubles lead to unexpected moments of peace. She thought, maybe I'll take more walks and let the world surprise me more often. Outside, leaves danced playfully, as if celebrating Emily's little adventure. The morning unfolded quietly, a perfect blend of warmth, light, and simple joy. And with that, the day seemed full of promise, wrapped up in the comfort of a lost and found sweater. Emily whispered to herself, sometimes, all you need is a little patience and a cozy sweater to brighten your morning. Mara cautiously steps into the dimly lit room, her silver locket glinting subtly as flickering lights struggle against the pervasive shadows. Broken electronics lie scattered, their screens shattered and emitting eerie static noises. She retrieves a cracked handheld device from her jacket pocket, its scrambled data scrambling across the flickering screen as she presses a worn button. The screen's glow pulses unevenly, casting fleeting shadows across her determined face. Elias enters quietly, adjusting his wire-rimmed glasses as his gaze sweeps the chaotic room. Whispering cryptic symbols from his leather-bound notebook, he quickly analyzes the scattered electronic remnants with practiced attention. Their eyes meet with unease, the weight of the discovery pressing down on them both. They silently acknowledge that the situation before them is more dire and complex than they had anticipated. Outside, rain beats rhythmically against cracked windows, blending with the melancholic notes of a distant music box melody. The haunting tune weaves through the damp air, adding an unsettling layer to the atmosphere. Suddenly, Mara's silver locket flickers, casting a soft blue glow that startles them both. Its faint light pulses steadily, hinting at a mysterious connection to the events unfolding. The already inconsistent lighting surges, intensifying into a strobe effect. On the cracked handheld device's screen, the holographic emblem of a fragmented circle appears briefly, shimmering with cryptic energy before fading. Elias studies his notebook intently, his fingers tracing symbols that begin to align with the fragmented emblem. He reveals a troubling hypothesis. A powerful overseer is clandestinely orchestrating the unfolding chaos from the shadows. Mara's eyes fixate on the emblem as her jaw tightens, clutching her silver locket with renewed determination. The revelation fuels her resolve to confront this unseen adversary, no matter the dangers ahead. A sudden power surge causes the lights to flicker violently, casting grotesque shadows that seem to animate the scattered debris. The room feels charged with an ominous, almost sentient energy. From the handheld device, distorted whispers leak through the static, fragmented voices hinting at a vast and encroaching danger. Mara and Elias exchange concerned looks, their awareness of the stakes deepening. Mara silently opens her locket, revealing a faded photograph of her family nestled inside. The personal connection sharpens the urgency. This investigation has become deeply personal. Elias's voice lowers as he warns of an impending failure. All electronic systems in their vicinity face imminent shutdown. Time is slipping away, and the stakes escalate dramatically. The faint melody from the music box grows louder, its tune twisting unpredictably as the lighting glitches intensify. The unsettling shifts hint at a reality bending under unseen pressure. Steeling themselves, Mara and Elias resolve to unmask the overseer before the window for action closes. Their determination solidifies, setting a razor-sharp edge to their mission. They connect the handheld device to a hidden terminal, fingers flying over the keys to hack deeper into the network. Suddenly, the device begins to overload, screen flaring brightly before forcing a frantic retreat into the shadows. Outside, rain mixes with cold sleet, and distant, mournful sirens wail, blending with the storm's fury. The chilling weather mirrors the rising tension and encroaching peril around them. Mara notices the irregular flickering of her locket, a subtle but persistent signal indicating an incoming encrypted message. The blue light pulses erratically, drawing their focus back to the mysterious device. Together, they decrypt the message, uncovering a series of coordinates pointing to an abandoned facility veiled in secrecy. This new lead promises answers, but also unknown threats lurking ahead. Despite Elias's apprehension, Mara insists on pursuing the trail, her conviction unwavering. After a tense pause, he nods in reluctant agreement, binding them together on this perilous path. Their progress halts abruptly as security drones, their eyes glowing menacingly red, block the narrow corridor ahead. The mechanized sentinels present an immediate and dangerous obstacle to their escape route. A tense chase ensues through tight alleys bathed in sporadic neon lights flickering like corrupted code. Mara and Elias weave through the shadows, racing against the relentless robotic pursuers. Mara swiftly deploys a compact EMP device, engulfing the drones in a pulse of electromagnetic disruption. The machines falter and power down momentarily, granting the duo precious seconds to slip away unnoticed. They find refuge inside the abandoned facility, walls lined with shattered monitors reflecting fractured light. The eerie echo of the music box melody reverberates faintly, guiding them deeper into the unknown. Approaching a hidden door adorned with the fragmented circle emblem, the haunting melody grows clearer. With wary hands, they prepare to breach the threshold, aware that what lies beyond could change everything. Mara's finger hesitated before tracing the fragmented circle emblem, causing the adjacent panel to hum softly and slip open. A narrow, shadowed passage revealed itself beyond, beckoning with secrets untold. The cold air from within whispered promises of answers and dangers alike. Elias stepped inside, his eyes scanning a wall plastered with countless timestamps and worn photographs, all meticulously connected by taut red strings. Each image whispered a story, threads converging into a web of surveillance and obsession. He jotted notes furiously in his cryptic notebook, piecing together the Overseer's long game. A chilling realization dawned on them both. The Overseer had been watching their every move for months, manipulating events with calculated precision. Their paths, choices, and doubts had all been monitored, orchestrated in a grim choreography. Trust felt fragile beneath the weight of such cold control. Suddenly, the room's flickering lights surged with static, and the familiar hum of their handheld devices distorted and died, plunging them into a digital silence. Glitches danced along the walls, distorting the air like broken data streams. The Overseer's shadow loomed deeper in the malfunctioning technology. From the haze of shifting pixels, an eerie holographic message solidified, the Overseer's cold voice dripping with scorn, taunting their dogged pursuit. With cryptic insinuations of betrayal and deception, the projection unsettled the dim space. Patience and resolve were tested anew. Mara's silver locket pulsed erratically against her chest, a rhythmic throb as if resonating with the Overseer's spectral presence. The once steady glow now flickered unpredictable patterns, revealing a hidden power within. It was as if the locket itself sensed the encroaching darkness around them. Elias's sharp eyes caught a detailed map on the wall, dotted with marked locations connected by red lines, a sprawling network of control points stretching like veins across the city and beyond. This was no isolated intrusion, but a vast, sinister operation. Their mission just grew infinitely more complex. Without warning, mechanical whirs crescendoed from concealed alcoves as automated turrets activated, locking onto Mara and Elias with ruthless precision. They faced an impossible choice: stand and fight the relentless defense or flee into the encroaching shadows. The deadly tension cracked the charged silence. Opting for flight, Mara's scar caught a flicker of light as she moved with razor-sharp precision, disabling a turret just in time. Her hands moved deftly, guided by instinct honed through countless trials. The fierce gleam in her eyes betrayed both grit and desperation as they darted beyond the killing zone. Outside, rain-slicked roads reflected the startling blue glow of pursuing drones as Mara and Elias pedaled furiously through the soaked city streets. The relentless mechanical buzz and flashing lights pressed in on them like a closing trap. Every heartbeat echoed the urgent rhythm of the chase. In an unexpected flicker, Mara's locket projected a fragmented, distorted face, an obscured identity possibly belonging to the elusive overseer. The shattered visage shimmered briefly before fading, leaving more questions than answers in its wake. It stirred something deep within Mara, igniting a mix of fear and resolve. Their flight ended in a deserted subway station,